So the army has spent a very long time renewing their commitment to wokeness. They've been getting exactly the soldiers they've been advertising for. That girl's two moms ad, yeah, it's having the desired effect. They got rid of all that toxic masculinity. So what's the result? U.S. Army faces TikTok mutiny as Gen Z recruits whine about low pay, shitty food, and fitness tests while on bases in uniform. Oh, they whine about more than just that. Guarantee you that. The U.S. Army is not facing a TikTok mutiny as Gen Z recruits. I mean, why'd you repeat the title again? It's like the same thing. The brazen posts by uniformed troops on U.S. bases represent an audacious challenge to the top brass amid a recruitment crisis. The Army forced over its target by 25% last year. Well, look, you're getting exactly the soldiers you wanted. Don't complain. Although, yeah, this does contribute to the recruiting crisis because the people who normally would be the best fit for the military see the types of people the military is full of, and they decide, nope. One of the posts by military influencer Anthony Laster slams Army life for having no privacy, the pay sucks, shitty food, disrespectful leadership, no sleep, has been viewed more than 600,000 times. I mean, he's not wrong. But yeah, it's not going to win you any favors with your disrespectful leadership outing them in public like that. All right, Laster from Chicago has more than 1 million followers on TikTok and has made public comments in uniform while on a mission in the desert. In another post, he claimed he spent the whole day watching TikToks while supposedly fighting the Taliban. You really want to be admitting that? I bet nothing's going to happen to him. It gives a woeful impression of America's fighting force to potential recruits, yeah, and enemies, which is likely to cause further animosity towards TikTok from critics. Politicians from both sides have concerns about the platform's links with China and accuse it of pushing subversive anti-U.S. propaganda. Yeah, and I know people are going to ask, oh, well, didn't the military and the government ban TikTok? How are these guys on TikTok? No, they banned TikTok on official government devices. If these guys have their private phones with them and they're not required to surrender them, they can be on TikTok as much as they want. Like that's the loophole. Yeah, you can't access TikTok through an official government machine, but if you got your personal one, well, go ahead. Yeah, the Army expects to end up at about 15,000 or short of its target of 65,000 recruits for current year. Similarly, the Navy expects to fall short by 10,000, and the Air Force is projected to miss its goal by 10%. The traditional allure of military recruitment is failing to register with Gen Z. Well, I think the internet in general exposed a lot of that. But again, hashtag not a good look. Last year, only 9% of young people aged 16 to 21 said they would consider military service, according to Pentagon data, sliding 13% from before the pandemic. Well, a big chunk of that is even if you have people who'd be willing to put their life on the line and fight and die for their country and to protect their family, they're not willing to be disrespected while they do that. They're not willing to be put through woke brainwashing, telling them that they're toxic and they're the problem and they need to change, while they're literally putting their lives on the line to save people. So a combination of being treated like shit and all this wokeness, yeah, no one wants to do it, and I don't blame them. So the military has faced criticism for using woke advertising campaigns focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as drag shows for troops to appeal to Gen Z. Well, and now the military is bitching when they get these exact troops they've been appealing to. You got what you wanted, bitch. What, did you expect straight white men to run in and save you from yourselves? No. We listened. You told us to go fuck ourselves. We left. You're on your own. Oh no, China's invading us. RG, help. I don't know, ask the they-thems to save you. Now, the Army's in the middle of a 5-year plan to become a model example of diversity, equity, and inclusion with the blessing of the White House. Yeah, and that's why no one's joining except for bottom feeders like these people. However, with focus elsewhere, it is in the grips of a fitness crisis. Around 23% of soldiers registered as obese in current year -2, according to a recent study from data from the Military Health System Data Repository. Um, Operation Human Shield. You can still take advantage. You can still use them, right? God, that's still sad. And not only are the recruits not fit enough to join, their fitness is also declining once they're in the ranks, leaving officials scrambling to install weight loss and exercise regimens. Now, this is one of those things. If the military wasn't struggling with recruitment, they probably would have discharged all all these land whales. But they can't afford to discharge them right now because no one wants to join. Like, this is a death spiral. Like, I agree with Terrence Popp. The military, like the government, fucked this up so bad. I don't see them getting out of this without reinstituting a draft. A draft might be the only way because they have completely fucked like just everything when it comes to a volunteer military. And now disgruntled rank and file officers have found an outlet on TikTok to advise those considering signing up to think again. Going to videos viewed by Daily Mail. Dude, now everyone is telling people not to join. Even the woke that they've been appealing to are like, nope. Among major criticisms, the young soldiers complained about having to remain below a certain weight, harsh treatment from their superiors, and having to perform menial tasks instead of engage enemies on the battlefield. One young recruit, Shamar Williams, in uniform, appearing to be on base, looks into the camera and tells his 34,000 followers his top 5 reasons to not join the military. Echoing last year's grievances, Williams bemoans that we do not get paid enough to perform the mission that is tasked to us, lack of autonomy, and sacrifices in family life. Now, this has been known for a while. I know that there's probably some retired soldiers and active duty listening right now. I know you've seen it. Like, you were deployed in Iraq, for example, and there were some civilians along for the ride. You were getting paid like 40,000 a year. Those civilians were being paid 200,000 to do the same job you were doing, right? Yeah, you are vastly underpaid. Yes. But that's what happens when you join the military. Like, you basically have a property of the US government stamp on your ass, and they can make you do whatever they want. Yeah, that's been a thing since the military existed and started working alongside civilians. According to federal data, more than 20,000 active duty troops are on food stamps to make ends meet. Yeah, it's a legit problem. A lot of military are underpaid. I think they do it on purpose to coax you into joining some more of those high risk jobs you wouldn't have otherwise joined. Just so you get the $30,000 signing bonus. Yeah, that's part of that plan. More worryingly for recruitment, Williams also adds to his list of complaints about things the military attempts to sell to potential recruits as perks, notably schooling. If you can't afford it, I mean, this is an option. Now, I know you think, whoa, that is a benefit, Williams explains, but there are requirements you have to meet first before to get to that schooling. So if you think of joining because of schooling, just go to school. Yeah, unless you want to go via the GI Bill. Yeah, if you do 4 or 5 years and then get out and then you can go to school. Sergeant Barber, 25, filming himself in his uniform, admits that he has already been counseled because of a TikTok video. Nonetheless, tells his 68,000 followers, before you head to the recruiting office, watch this video. If you don't like your freedom being suppressed a little, no, really, then I wouldn't join the military. No, as well as cautioning against fantasies of getting rich in the army. Who legitimately thinks they can get rich in the army? Whoa, you must have had the world's best recruiter to convince you of that. All right, Barbara also says the life in the military is mopping those floors 99% of the time rather than war combat. Yeah. Even if you deploy, you probably won't see combat today in this world. So if that's your mindset, don't join. It depends on also what specific branch you're in, what your specialization is. Some see more action than others. Female recruits have also contributed to the anti-military advice offered on TikTok. You think? So one young recruit who can only be identified as Gamage from the name on her uniform tells those considering military life, don't join the army until you're mentally prepared to be told you're going over underweight, treated like you're not a good soldier if you can't run 2 miles in 18 minutes or less. I mean, you're not. Oh, and you can't get injured either because then it's your fault. Now that part I can kind of agree with. Health is a barrier to recruitment as well as an issue once recruits are enrolled. More than half, 56% of Americans age 18 to 25-year-olds are overweight or obese. Yeah, more than half of Americans are more than 2/3 of Americans. And meaning they can't enlist. Fitness in the Army, also the crisis point. The generals terming it a threat to national security. Well, maybe if you focused on this instead of diversity and inclusion, you could fix it, right? Have you considered that? I know the answer is no. You haven't considered shit. Injury and healthcare also a concern for young recruit to identify himself as Trill. He advises against joining the army because this is very physically demanding. The army don't give a fuck about. Fuck if you fucked up. If you fucked up, you better see the personal trainer. Trill also complains that commanding officers are on a power trip and you can't do nothing. Yeah, if you can't handle someone ordering you around, you don't belong in the military, really. Including in the military, you're their bitch. If they want you to do something, if they want to do something to you, you're gonna go. You're going to do it. Yes, yes. That's been obvious for years. Defense official told Daily Mail that DoD components are required to review and approve non-official mobile applications for use of government-issued devices. Yeah, but if they're using their personal ones, the DoD never authorized the use of TikTok, and several organizations have already banned its download onto its mobile devices. Users are required to sign a user agreement when the device is issued. This agreement informs them of the proper device use requirements and responsibilities for the appropriate use of download of unmanned applications. Additionally, all DoD personnel are required to take the annual Cyber Awareness Challenge as module specific to mobile devices, social media, and geological capabilities. Oh, geolocation capabilities. These are always so fucking easy, though. There's a few times I've been stumped by some of these tests where they actually had a really good situation that made you wonder what the right answer was. But 99% of the time, it's so obvious the answer they want to hear. Adding a DoD mobile application policy requires DoD components to review and prohibit the use of applications that pose a potential risk. DoD is currently updating its mobile application security policy to establish a process for prohibiting the installation of any application DoD believes inappropriate to be downloaded onto a government device as well. But what if they're using their personal ones? You can't stop that. In accordance with Division R, Sector 102 of the Consolidated Appropriations Act of current year, the U.S. Cyber Command, acting through Joint Force Headquarters, Department of Defense Information Network, directed all combatant commands, military services, defense agencies, and DoD field activities to remove TikTok from all government-funded equipment and prohibit use of accessing the application on government-funded equipment. Yeah, government-funded is the key word. If they have their personal stuff on them and you didn't take it, that's what they're going to do.